I had to come in quickly to do this video. That's because there's something that's really important I need to respond to. I was doing a bit of research. I was listening to a few things, most especially a conference that was held. It was the National Conference on Strengthening Democracy in Nigeria. Now, in that conference, we had former governor of Benue State, I think Samuel Otom. We had the former vice president of Nigeria in the person of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who was also the presidential candidate of the PDP in the last election. We also had El Rufai. Yeah, all of these men, if I'm not mistaken, were present at this particular conference. But this is it. There's something that was said by the former vice president, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, that I would like us to look at, and that is what I basically want to react to. I actually listened to his entire session at that conference, but a particular part of it, and I'll be playing that part, and then we'll be reacting to it. But before I do, let me quickly indulge you. Do well to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and yeah, use the comment section and tell us what you think. People usually say that, oh, there is no money. Oh, the governors are this. Oh, lawmakers complain of not having enough money, no money to do what they have to do for their constituents with regards to constituency projects. One time, they were even asking for a raise, saying that they were not paid enough, and so on and so forth. And we all are aware of the humongous amount of monies that these people make. Aside their basic salaries, the allowances are humongous. If not the largest in the countries in the world, we are one of the highest. We have one of the highest paid public servants in the case of political office holders. I mean, and it's alarming. In this particular conference, certain revelations were made by former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and I would like us to listen to them, because after hearing some of the things you say, then you would understand how are the monies we have in this country is being spent, and how the monies we have in this country is being wasted, and the citizens are being given excuses upon excuses why we cannot complete, for instance, a road as simple as the East-West Road, or why we have to embark on projects that we know we can't sustain, or why we still have kids roaming the streets and we don't have desks or chairs in classrooms. I mean, it's just enormous. So why we can't pay lecturers their salaries because they say no money? Is it why we have to argue for minimum wage because they say no money? Well, let's hear former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and you would understand where some of these monies go to.
You claim about the opposition parties.
So someone had asked him a question about rubber stamp assembly.
Immediately
and so this is what he said.
Results were announced and members emerged before even the National Assembly was officially inaugurated. I invited members of the House of Representatives from all the political parties to my house. They all came. I said, look, I want you to take control of the leadership of the House of Reps. Because if you all work together, you will produce the leadership of the House of Reps because of your number. Whether you are Labour, whether you are AP, whether whatever.
So this is him talking about how he tried to get all the opposition members to work together
again,
so that they produce the leadership of the House.
In Bauchi,
all right, listen.
Where we elected the chairman of the Governors Forum for PDP. Again, I call the members of the National Assembly, particularly House of Reps, and reminded them about the meeting we had in Abuja in my house. Make sure when you are electing your leaders, you conform to what we agreed. They went, and they were giving money.
All right. And let's pause there. You're hearing. Now, sometimes you wonder why opposition members in the House do not do certain things that opposition members should do when certain bills are presented before the House, on the floor of the House. You would even wonder why, as opposition political parties, they cannot come together and work as one for democracy. Now, I like the fact that he had to point that he spoke with not just one particular opposition political party, but all of them in his house, who were members of the House of Reps. For those who do not know, in Nigeria, we have the House divided into two. We have the red chambers and the green chambers. All right, the red chambers are the senators, the green chambers are the rep members. Okay, and in this case, he says there was an agreement. He was trying to provide leadership. If you must do this, you need the numbers, because democracy is about numbers. You would need the numbers. And if you keep holding on to only Labour Party opposition, or only PDP opposition, or only SDP opposition, or whatever, you might not be able to bring the numbers you need to have the control of that house. All of you as opposition work together so you can form a formidable opposition and be able to stand and oppose certain things that will come to the house that might not be beneficial to the people democratically. Some people might say that the former vice president is not in a place to say this, but I would like us to look away from the messenger and focus on the message, because we've been going around this circle for years, where former President Olusegun Obasanjo says something, and what people hear is, when you were president, what did you do? Leave that rubbish, and would you just please listen to whether what the person is saying makes sense or not?
They all dispersed. They all dispersed.
Here comes the shocker.
Yes.
What is going to say next?
Everything. But they took the money. What else? I was not in a position to expel any member. I was not in a position to suspend any member. But I have shown them leadership. Which they decline.
So here comes the big one. Here comes the big one.
I want to say here publicly, I met with a political party leadership in the present opposition. And they told me bluntly that this government gives them 50 million each.
Ooh, did you hear that? 50 million naira each. So opposition lawmakers cannot really. I say the reason why certain politicians who haven't built any foundation in the politics or democracy of this country are confident that they can run the party or political parties or get members of the house. Why? Because half of, if not more, of those people you see in the house are all greedy individuals. And if you bring the right amount of money, they are all going to sell us out as a people. They don't care about the democracy. They don't care about who emerges. They don't care what the bill does, who benefits, who is it going to benefit. All they care about is, in this case, the 50 million naira that they all are getting each. Now, whether they are paid this money monthly, I do not know. Maybe the former vice president would give us that information. But I need you to get an idea where the money is, our common wealth, taxes of Nigerians, what it is used for.
Where do we go from here?
I like what he says next.
Which means if we are not careful, we are talking to some of you here, but you are recipients of the 50 million you are getting from the federal, from the APC government.
I like the fact that he was blunt and had to say this, and he's possibly very quite correct. It is possible that most of the people at that conference who are seated there listening to him are receiving that 50 million naira. And they are in opposition, but they collect that money. So you are wondering why opposition cannot really talk. Well, this is the answer now. If you have been wondering why opposition cannot really talk, yeah, it is your answer. I mean, if they are giving you 50 million a month, if I don't know if it's monthly again, like I said, but I mean, man, where are we headed? Where are we headed? And this is why, because it's as though the politicians are all up for the highest bidder. That's it. That's why they fight. That's why they do. It's not ever because they have the interest of the people, democracy, Nigerians. 90% of them who are there are only there just to see how much they can get and swing to whichever way the money is coming from. And clearly, the vice president, former vice president, has just said it as it is, plain and simple.
You may take exception to that, but I was told by a high-ranking member of an opposition party.
So you see,
do we really want to fight for democracy?
now that question is asking there is how I wrap up. I don't think we really, I would answer you, Mr. Former Vice President, we are not really ready to fight for democracy. We are not. It's about everybody fill your pockets. As much as you can, gather what you can, fill your pockets. And that's what's happening. And I think the incumbent party understands the character of the individuals who are in the politics, who are members of the House. They understand these things. This is just a tip. I'm pretty sure there are some who they have been given huge contracts, and amass so much wealth because they are making so much money from these contracts that have been given to them as a form of settlement. It's like hush money. So don't say anything, just take it and play along. Eyes will always have it on the floor of the House. Even the nays that they say, I think it's all a script. Let some people just say nay so that it looks like we are doing something. Where do we go to from here? That's the question. Are we really interested in saving democracy? Are any of our leaders even ever interested in the common Nigerian on the streets? That's a question we need to ask. Tell me what you think about this revelation in the comment section.